alive.
I think the dual Berettas are becoming meta now.
I really hope so, because they're really good, and I love seeing them in all of these games. They're just my favourite. I just love seeing dual Berettas in pistols. I think they actually do bring a lot to the party as well in many instances. But right here, right now, this pistol round is absolute carnage to begin. It is Issa in the back of the site, the only non-Turk on this all-Turkish roster for Eternal Fire, and he has been absolutely instrumental inside the pistol round with a 3-0 start. So that's going to be a cracking pistol for the CT side to go on with. And I think one thing that's important to mention here about the Eternal Fire side is the fact that they have really no data to go off with being a new team and all. Like on HLTV, for example, they've only played, I think, all in all, 17 maps, and all of those are played on either Inferno, Dust 2, or Vertigo. So they've only got one map in this pool that we've seen from any, we've seen from them before at any point, not in the open qualifier. That is, obviously they've got the open qualifier as data, but up to you to decide how much of a data that really is.
I mean, Movistar Riders have been given a lot of space in this round. Calix is going to just try and maintain control, but the Deagle is too strong from Defs. Nice little kill comes through, a 4-on-4, but with a lot of damage done. Movistar, they can get the bomb planted here. This is actually a really nice round from them, and this could actually be a turnaround in this early game. If they can tie this up 1-1, you've got Moppos in the vent you need to remove, and IMORR, he seems like he's a little bit cautious of that position, but he's going to push in and check. And that could leave Moppos in a really good late round position, but actually he's going to go down towards Decon. And it's up to his teammates in the site to try and hold for now. Pius gets one, but Xantares pushing in from ramp is going to be able to collect on the Defs. Issa's there for support. They're going to clear out Alex, and now it all comes down to Moppos. The 1 versus 3, and he's being tapped down by this USP as they defuse the bomb. He does get one with a Tech 9, and is there enough time on the defuse, George? I don't think there is. Yeah. So you know as well what these teams are playing for, as it seems like they're just going to try and recover that M4. Winner of this best of 3 goes to the IEM Fall RMR. A lot on the line here. A chance to really get yourself into a good position and get some good major ranking points coming through from that event. And both of these teams, it'd be a big sort of... It'd be a big stage to be playing on. Like, a big spotlight for them each to try and prove and show what they're capable of.
Yeah, it would. I was actually muted for that last portion where I was talking, on the stream at least. I'm not sure about that one. Sorry if I was. I was talking. There wasn't just vapid spaces of silence. Apologies for that. I am here. I'm present. It's not just the Dan Chan broadcast.
Good to know. Good to know. But, yeah, I mean, Movistar Riders can, or both these teams really can prove a lot if they make it to that RMR. and can maybe put a little bit of the pressure on these sort of bigger teams and show that they aren't just going to get bullied around. That would be great for them. But now into this next round, we do have ourselves a nice little spy from Eternal Fire. Obviously saving a few of these weapons from that previous round. The Galil, the M4 being carried over along with that Mac 10. There's potential for damage, but not from Xantares. Because Davig, he gets an opening pick, takes out Xantares, and they're going to be able to double it up onto IMORR as well. So Movistar Riders already getting themselves a 2-man advantage. Now it's going to be up to Woxic with this M4. Can he find much from this position? I don't know. He's in a bit of a pickle. Does have a little bit of support from Calix, but right now he's going to be left alone. Mopos is just going to hold towards the lobby, see if anybody's going to push aggressively, and for now, not to be the case. The rest of his teammates just going to keep working down towards that lower side as Woxic now wants to make his stand, but his teammate Calix is making moves, and Woxic tries to make lots of them at the same time, and he does get one in fairness, but leaves this now in a 1 versus 2. It's coming from the ramp room, Deagle in hand. I think these two players are going to be hard pressed to give up an advantage here. At least he does spot out some Pius out of the sight. Deagle could find the shot, but some Pius' AK is that a little bit too strong. Gets a few tippity taps through, and with this a low HP, not to worry for the Movistar Riders.
Yeah, nice start for them, especially after that clapback after the pistol. They've really capitalized on the advantage they were able to garner, Dan. You didn't really think it was going to be coming based on the pistol round and how quickly Eternal Fire were able to dispatch Movistar Riders, but they've really pulled it back, and they've taken the advantage that they were given by the misdemeanors of Eternal Fire and by their own nice prowess, I suppose you would say. They've given themselves a chance, but Woxic, more importantly than ever now, has got the AWP in his hands. This is what the CT side have been waiting for. We've seen so many lights-out plays from this Turkish phenom. Maybe now is the time to get it all done and dusted. For him. I mean, like I was saying, whilst I was partially muted, there was a moment in time on the Cloud9 roster in which Woxic was considered to be like a AWP delivery system, Amazon Prime, UPS, or whatever you want to call it, and kind of gave that AWP over a little bit too often for free, and gave too many teams the advantage. Hopefully that's been remedied here, playing in an all-Turkish lineup, but he has been bodied. Thankfully does trade out his life with the HE grenade with the assistance of Xantares, but it's still a 4 versus 3 now as Movistar Riders start to hike their way down into Secret. One player, Mopos, I believe that is, left out in lobby at the moment, just to try and catch up any of the scraps, any of the rotations, and that looks like Issa and IMORR are actually looking like they are a little bit inquisitive as to what's going on inside of lobby. They're now going to realise there's nobody here, but he and Mopos just passing each other without recognising that one another have gone through could prove to be a problem now, as Issa can get towards ramp pretty conveniently and put a stop to this B push with the assistance of Calix if it does come in. And with time being so thin at the moment, just 20 seconds here for the Spaniards, they need to get their skates on. They need to get into this site, Dan. Running out of time to do so if they haven't already, and 2 frags coming in for IMORR and Calix, one of them on the top side, one of them on the lower. Calix goes down, but there's only 8 seconds in the round, and whilst Davik does well to try and pull the round back from the jaws of defeat, he unfortunately can't snatch them as Issa slaps them shut.
Good round from the Eternal Fire side to get themselves a second, and they keep themselves at least sort of in this one. If Movistar pick up that round, you start seeing them building the lead, and they can really get underway on that T side, but Eternal Fire start reeling them in, and now we'll have the Movistar Riders actually backs to the wall economy-wise. Same for the Eternal Fire side, but whoever wins this round could really start to pull away in this early portion of the game and get yourself a good base to work from. Xantares is just going to be holding this cross towards the Secret stairs, and he does pick off a burst. Doesn't want to overduel on the rest of them, but he's still trying to do a little bit of damage if he can. We'll just make do with the 1-man advantage, though. That's more than enough for the Eternal Fire guys right now. With plenty of time left in this round, they're going to let Movistar stew a little bit in this one.
Stew or a soup? What are you fancying?
I prefer a soup, generally.
Yeah, me too. I'm a soup kind of guy.
Creamy tomato soup, yeah?
Oh, okay. I'm more of like a. I really enjoy chicken and mushroom. That's my jam. But it seems that cracking B sites might actually be Movistar's jam here, as they've got their way in with 2 frags. One of which was the Tech 9, who's now been taken down by the hands of Issa. Xantaro's flanking around as well. Should have an opportunity to try and deny the bomb plant, but Sun Pius is just so quick on the draw. He's found 2 inside the site. Woxic getting taken down after trading away. Alex, and Issa is so far removed from the situation. He has no horse in this race. He just has to get away, Dan. He needs to keep hold of this M4. He's currently the top performer for his squad, so it's absolutely essential that he's the man to keep this up. Not only for his own welfare and for his team's welfare in terms of the frag department, but also financially speaking. You can see on the left-hand side of your screen, the residual cash from Eternal Fire right now, not looking all that great. They won't have a great deal of loss bonus stacked up either, as they'll have been reset 1 round by winning the last. So there's really no room for a buy here. Issa saving whatever he can is going to give them as much wiggle room as possible. Unfortunately, I feel like the space may be a little bit too constricted for them.
And now that's Movistar with a great sort of opening here, George. You've got lots of space now in terms of the sort of economy here for Movistar. You've got just that single M4 to deal with. There is a Tech 9 for Xantares and a few other pistols, but you shouldn't really be seeing Movistar having too many issues with this one. Once you get rid of Issa and this M4, you're in a much better position, but he's just going to go through the smoke. A beautiful flash from Woxic allows that to happen, but Davig is going to be there to trade it back. Not letting that one get out of hand, making sure it's still a 4-on-4, and you're happy to at least just make sure that that M4 isn't going to be getting multi-kills. You're limited to just the 1, and now that big threat is removed. You can just focus on cleaning up these pistols, making sure you win this rest of this one out pretty cleanly. Keep like 4 players alive and build up a bit of cash behind you, because when that next gun round comes through from the Eternal Fire side, you want to have at least a little bit of cash in reserve to sort of rebuy and reinvest anything you lose, because chances are you aren't going to be able to win out against the guns cleanly.
No, I think you might be right there. You've got to try and keep these weapons. You've got to try and keep the cash flowing. CT side is so difficult in the current state of Counter-Strike to get a good economy flowing. Oh, that's a good start from Woxic, taking down the low HP Davig. The kill's a kill, doesn't matter how you get it, doesn't matter how low HP the person was. What was, unfortunately, the rest of Eternal Fire has a fire extinguisher. He's taken them down with the MAC-10, that's 2 frags for him. It's also going to be $1,200 for him as well. Remember that MAC-10 with the additional $300 kill reward when compared to the rifles. Makes it all the more lucrative to find frags with it against those unarmored opponents. It's so famous for tearing through. But now Calix has been spotted, unfortunately, so they know roughly where he is, and they know he's going to have picked up the MAC-10. So for Sunfires and Deaths, they're just going to hold the ground, hold the line, and they'll find themselves a 5th. Nice start coming out from Movistar Riders. They're just weathering the storm. Whenever the going gets tough, they've somehow managed to find a way to stabilize in most situations, which is impressive. They've got that kind of cool head on their shoulders, especially with young players like Sun Pius in the lineup as well, who just seems to be playing well beyond his station in terms of years. He's a very mature-looking player, and now, Dan, we get to see how mechanically brilliant he can be, as well as just how mature he can be. He's got the AWP in his hands. This is his signature weapon. This is why they picked him up for the roster. This is why he replaced Smooya, no less. He's the man with the big green gun. He's the man to make it happen for Movistar Riders. He's one of the main reasons why they've even got to this point in the closed qualifier. He was lights out in the open, already taking an aggressive trade. It doesn't work out. He's bested by the short range orb. It's the XM. Dak, dak, dak. The crocodile, whatever you want to call it. It's managed to make its way through.
I wanted to bring up the shotgun, but it makes its mark early, and that's a great way to bring it up, as IMORR does find that first, as you say. Alex, though, is quick on a reply. He's been able to lurk over towards the yard, catches Xantares a little bit unaware. Struggled a little bit on Xantares this game so far. And Alex has actually been able to get down towards that lower site now as well. He's not inside the site itself, but he's lurking through the vents, looking to see if there's any players who are maybe trying to chase him down. Right now, there's not. Could prove to be a very pivotal factor if Movistar go down towards that B site themselves, and it looks like they might try and do so with the smokes lane towards the yard and the players pushing in at that direction. Alex is in a great position just to catch a player or two. Opos going down though makes things a little bit more difficult, because now you're not in that even 4-on-4. Now you're in the disadvantage, and now you need to try and find something to equalize this round out with 20 seconds on the clock. You have to get it done quickly here, but Voxic is just holding at the decon door. He gets the first, can't save his teammate. There's Devs just behind him, but those are nice shots from Voxic. Lovely to see with that AWP.
Voxic's clean, looking on form today. Good 3k inside of that round, brings his scoreline up a little bit and made inflate the ego for a bit of a Voxic takeover we're used to seeing. But yeah, I mean, I was hyping up Sun Pius that round, but it turns out I was hyping up the wrong Orpadan. Sometimes that happens, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
I'm not always savant.
The prophecy can be wrong.
It can. It sometimes can. I suppose in many ways, the prophecy is wrong a lot of the time. But prophecy... Okay, the prophecy at this round was looking a little bit more unlikely for Movistar Riders, and I thought as soon as they managed to get the drop on the one player with the M4 towards second vent, which was Antares as a matter of fact, and I thought they were going to kill him, but they didn't. They didn't manage to find the frag. They have now just Sun Pius on the AK-47 and Alex on the Galil. All of a sudden, Eternal Fire have cleansed Movistar Riders from the map. They've purged them to remain, and they've got a lot of work to do. Thankfully, they do have the bomb in Sun Pius's possession. It isn't really making matters all that easy, considering as they have no space to work with. They need to try and find an avenue of attack here. You can see they've already been flushed out of lobby. Sun Pius, a bit aggressive here, if I'm honest with you. He's got Alex trying to pinch in towards main entrance, but with that smoke going down, it's going to draw the fire of Santares. Alex has a huge chance now to find 2 frags outside, but he's going to elude one of them. Just Santares. Waiting, taken down. Now, Is is actually behind second vent. Needs to be very careful and cognizant of that location because that could be the fly in the ointment. They're up top in Voxic with the AWP. 32 seconds remaining, just clearing the outside position. And the second vent player that I was highlighting has been the undoing for the 2 versus 4 conversion. Voxic finishes the job. They keep 3 weapons up, including that AWP. And Eternal Fire are going to be feeling quite happy with that kind of a round.
Not bad, not bad. Yeah, I mean, against a bit of a force buy from the Movistar side, it was looking like it could turn into something more dangerous with the Tech 9 just running it through the squeaky door. Does get a kill, but ultimately, Eternal Fire pretty good in just minimizing the threat that one posed. Do have a pause call, a quick tactical timeout from the Movistar side here, as they'll elect to probably just go for an eco in this one. I'd hope so, for sure. I really don't want to be fully investing with most of your players around that 2k mark. So that's Eternal Fire with surely a chance at 5. That's his CT size. Not looking too bad for them. And on Movistar's map pick here, if Eternal Fire can get a couple more rounds on this CT side, you'd be saying they've looked pretty decent and might have a chance in that second half to really sort of give Movistar the sweats, maybe.
I think the best way to give Movistar the sweats would be to do a vigorous workout, Dan. That's usually what works best for me. Don't know about you. Maybe you don't often work out. I don't know. Not really much of a worker-outer either. Even still, it seems that not a lot's going to be working out here for Movistar Riders either, as they already lose the first frag, get chunked on down by a HE grenade outside, where Antares is standing guard. He's now going to go for a swing. He's going to find not 1 but 2 frags for his troubles, and only loses just over half of his HP. IMORR taking a prolonged engagement with Davik towards door, and Sun Pius also tapping down Voxic a little bit. But I don't think either of these engagements are going to be particularly viable to win. Sun Pius is tempting fate a little with the Deagles. Antares is going to be aware of his location. They're just going to play with each other for the moment. Player too encouraged to go for anything too crazy. I just feel like we're delaying the inevitable here in a round like this for Movistar Riders. They know they're going to go down at some point. They're just looking to try and see if anyone's going to give anything up for themselves that they can potentially look to exploit, but it's not going to be the case. Eternal Fire are well drilled on what to do in situations such as that. I want to mention as well, actually, here, Dan, that Calix has been on that FAMAS now for about 4 rounds, 3 or 4 rounds, and has yet to upgrade, which I find very strange. But he's now going to grant that very important honor of FAMAS boy over to IMORR, which are going to keep it going. Maybe it's like the challenge.
I'm sure he's thrilled.
Keep FAMAS any percent.
Let's see if it does keep going and trucking. I'm sure IMORR will be wanting to upgrade that as soon as the chance presents itself. With Movistar on full guns here. There's every chance he does manage to do so. AK's out from Movistar side. Pire's not got that AWP in hand, and that's a weapon that Woxic is still going to be wielding for his side. You gotta feel like surely Woxic can give them maybe a little bit of an open over towards a ramp here. In fact, they do want to try and push forwards. Woxic is actually just going to drop a smoke and back away, leaves it up towards his teammate Calyx to defend. Movistar haven't really pushed that aggressively either, but it's Alex who's on the lurk once again. He's got himself down those secret stairs. I'm pretty sure that Eternal Fire will know this is a possibility with that smoke wall that was dropped towards the yard. They know that there's a possibility that somebody's gone down towards the lower site. Like Movistar maybe wanting to crunch in towards B here with this ramp setup starting to come through. You've got Calyx who just take that initial shot and actually just backs away. Doesn't want to overcommit this, and now he will take the fight, but only goes 1-for-1. That's going to give a lot of space towards the Movistar side. Zantares maybe takes a peek into this, but a little bit late. Can't really catch anybody trying to push down. Alex still in position over towards Secret. Maybe gets a fight on towards Movistar coming down the fence. Actually, he gets himself too. IMORR needs to stand up to the test. He can't. And Movistar, they find a very chaotic 6 down on the base site. Alex getting himself 2 from that position. That's a great little double to find. And he was patient for that entire round as well.
Patience is a virtue down, and in Counter-Strike, it can pay dividends. Alex, like you mentioned, just held his nerve for the right amount of time. Eventually did go for it and get it all sorted, and the right call. Absolutely the right call. Bang on. Found himself 2 frags out of it. Pretty much gave his team the sight single-handedly because Eternal Fire did actually have a pretty good conception of what was going to happen there. They'd rotated players down already. They were preempting the hit coming in. It seems they've been preempting a bit of further A aggression here as Issa, inside of the hut, has managed to find one. Unfortunately, that does leave him to be traded away. The information has still been gained that Mopos is now down on 36 HP, and there may have even been another player in lobby with him. So IMORR will use that information appropriately, try and find an appropriate place to defend this A site from if it does come under attack, and maybe use that information to leave Woxic a little more on his own with this AWP over here. 9 times out of 10, this is what we see. The ramp player is off and left between 2 alone, but Sun Pius is not going to give Woxic any time to readjust. He's just going to go ham, go in, and now try and crack open ramp, or potentially even the wraparound towards Heaven.
He's trying to get out the vents, but he was just spotted by Alex. Kill comes through. Some Pius doubles up on that as well, as now Movistar have themselves a 4-on-1. Zantares, the last man alive, and he's down on that B site. He's got no part to play in this round as a bomb gets planted. Admittedly, a few of these Movistar players are low on HP, but that's going to be little consolation. There's going to be so many of them to find. Maybe even a 1v3, you might say it would be a little bit more doable if Defs wasn't in the picture, but he is, unfortunately, and for Zantares, it's just going to be the save.
I don't hate it. The save's the right call here. Looking at the money for the Eternal Fire side, it's absolutely in the bin. Every way you look at it. They've been on a big run of rounds, so the loss bonus won't be there, and to keep the M4 up is about as best as you can hope for. Without it, they're going to be a little bit screwed here. Gives them at least some potency, some form of firepower into the next round down, which they'll be lacking, to say the least. I don't think they're really going to have much to play with here. They may elect to go for a very aggressive force buy. I think with the loss bonus that will be coming in shortly, though, they might be able to afford a buy in the next round. It will be a little bit light and skimpy, but I still think it's viable. So that'll be my way to go on it. But many teams in this situation do opt for the force buy. I think it's strange that the person with the lowest amount of money in IMORR was the only one to decide to buy a pistol there. I don't know, a bit odd. Either way, Movistar Riders are looking to use this advantage now to their advantage. They're going to look to try and press the attack whilst they have do so. Zantares with that M4 already tagged down as low as 5 HP, and it's not like he can pass it to anybody else who has armor, because nobody else does, Dan. He's just ruined the round almost for himself here by getting it too far into the smoke, coming out the other side, and now finding himself in a bit of a tricky spot. Issa defending with a P250 down lower. Just needs to find one quick headshot and potentially Scarper away, but there is a whole fleet, a whole assault party coming his way. Fires off one shot, they now know where he is. The incendiary will push him away, whilst Death finds IMORR up above. Movistar Riders looking like they've got this round signed, sealed, and delivered already.
Zantares could maybe find Deaths here. Creeps around the corner. Could potentially catch him a little unawares. We'll be hearing the reload. Zantares not going to go for the peak. Realizes he's too far away from that one. And now Deaths is going to... Well, he was going to scurry away. Going to keep position, actually, and hold towards these secret stairs. Issa over towards the control room. Could maybe get some contact, but it's Zantares who actually catches Moppers out on that rotation. And now Death slides in to finish the job onto Zantares. Gets that 5 HP away from him. Finally, the M4 is down. At least it gets one. But now Issa and Calyx left in an unwinnable situation. I'm going to call it unwinnable.
Unwinnable? That's often when we say that it becomes winnable for somebody. Just yesterday, Dan, in Meisterschaft, we called around unwinnable, and then somebody 1v5.
True, true. I did see that also, yeah, that happened. That was,
yeah,
interesting, but...
that was a thing that occurred.
It played no part in the game, really.
It is true.
It's just
it didn't
a bit
really have much impact.
Footnote.
Still cool that it happened, though.
Yeah.
But yes,
Obviously.
Now definitely unwinnable, by the way. Calyx has already left. He left quite some time ago, actually. I think it was unwinnable a long time before we even started discussing as much. But yeah, good round for Movistar Riders. And one thing that's better than that now, Dan, is that they've got up to 8 rounds. And they're on the T half. Yeah. Often Nuke has been considered a very CT-sided map at times. So to be taking the victory in the half with 8 rounds, obviously you can't lose if you've got 8 rounds.
Yeah.
On the T side, no less, it's a really good foothold to find yourself in. And I think for the second half, being on the CT side, the more preferred of the two, Movistar Riders have definitely got a bit of the upper hand here already. Again, similar setup outside with these smokes being distributed, but this time it's not quite gone to plan. IMORR has managed to take Mop off this time. That was actually through mid-doors, as a matter of fact. Now, out go a few more smokes outside, which soon may encourage Eternal Fire to get a little more inquisitive. Alex is going to be standing guard over this, but the rest of his team aren't really looking all that interested. They're looking to try and drag some rotations by putting pressure on the ramp room. Sun Pius is also just keeping his eyes peered on towards the lobby for now. Ramp is becoming the priority. A boost over the top. Calyx defending very passively. It's a sneaky little angle that often goes unchecked when defending the B ramp room. You expect the AWPer to be over here, but you've already heard him firing off over towards heaven, so you got the information that he's likely to be towards hell, watching this kind of an angle. I think that might deter you from pushing into ramp here for Movistar. So they're going to readjust, recalibrate their screens, and move over somewhere else.
I hope you're not recalibrate your screen midway through a round as Zantares over on this side. Just get the first, but Davig very quick on the trade. That's a great one to find, but there's still more to get. And now Movistar starting to feel a little bit of pain. It's just Alex and Deaths alone. Make it just Deaths because Woxix up from the heavens is going to keep smiting the down. Just Deaths remaining and Woxix will get a second. 6 on the board for Eternal Fire. They'll keep this game a little bit close. I mean, 2 rounds of deficit right now. If they can find the 7th as well, they'll go into that second half with a reasonable chance of making things work. I think, though, moving on to that T side, you're going to be struggling a little bit more than you are on the CT side, but there's still definitely opportunities. Let's see what Eternal Fire can do here. We still have Woxic on that AWP, a few rifles around it. Some Pius brings out the AWP for the Movistar side, and now final chance. But still on the board. Zantares towards the yard, gets caught in the open, but IMORR has found 2 elsewhere. Great work from him, stepping up when he needs to and giving Eternal Fire the advantage in this round.
One thing that is important to note as well is that last round was actually so integral for Eternal Fire as Woxic bought the AWP with a risk. He didn't have any armor. glass cannon and survived the round, bringing that AWP into the next. You can see just how badly the CT economy was hurting, though, because Issa's once again got that signature Hamas up for the CT side at the moment. They were dragging it about 4 rounds in a row where they were winning, so they might as well bring it out when they are winning again. It was a good luck charm. Keep the FAMAS in play. But even still, yeah, you are exactly right with what you say. Now Alex is going to try and exploit into the A site. He's looking to try and work an angle. Unfortunately, it hasn't really benefited him as he's been taken down by Woxic. Now Issa also playing from second vent, where he's been so sturdy from for the majority of this half, leaving it all up to Deaths in another 1 versus 3 attempt, which he will not be successful in. That's going to be it for the first half. We'll go to a quick break. We'll see you on the other side of this one for half number 2.
Welcome back. Second half about to get underway between these two teams, and it is Eternal Fire with the 1 round deficit as we head into that second half, with Movistar now taking their turn on the defense. We'll see what they're capable of. It is their map pick after all, and we'll have Davig with a kit, a smoke for him. The rest of his team just running the Kevlar. As for Eternal Fire, a couple P250s brought up by Calix, and he dropped him over to his teammates. It's already Movistar looking for a very aggressive push towards Radio. 3-man push, in fact. They do get forced back by the initial just gunfire and return from Calix, and they're not going to try and aggress off the back of that. They're actually going to retreat and try and cover off other avenues of this map, but Mopos is still in position a little bit forward. They need to be wary of that Eternal Fire. He's going to try and peek, and he could catch one, and he does. Calix goes down. Good at kill to find. He's just going to fade away into darkness. The rest of this Eternal Fire side are going to try into this A site, but some Pious is there. And while initially it looked like the A site was going to be the main point of contention, the bomb actually went down the vents, and it's been caught by the player down there themselves. And now Woxic alone just can't do anything. Trying to spin on the spot to take down as many as he can, but there's just too many around him. And Alex is the one who gets that final kill, gets Movistar onto 90. You maybe feel like Eternal Fire, this could be the beginning of the end for them, because I think a pistol round was maybe needed on this T side to really give you a chance.
Absolutely was needed. Needed to invigorate them with a T-side pistol round. And yeah, it hasn't really come to pass, and then yet still, as a result of getting no bomb plant there either, they're going to opt to go in for the force buy here. So if they end up losing this round, it could give huge amounts of money over to these MP9s if they're the ones to farm the kills, and then subsequently after that as well, you've got to remember that there could be the opportunity for yet still another round of MP9 farming when they eventually have to take the full eco. So a bomb plant here, at the very least, for Eternal Fire is what they should be aiming for. Any more than that, and that's an absolute result. But I think first port of call, we need to be worrying about how we're going to get to the first port. Already, big damage being done. One player in Woxic with the scout being goosed on down, and Sun Pious finally emerges to take down IMORR. Now the big fight starts to come into question, as when they get into this site, these deagles become all the more potent. Zantares jiggle peeking the angle onto Sun Pious, but again, no one at home, as Sun Pious is very quickly relocated. He's removed himself from heaven, got himself back to a cheeky little angle where if they push on through, he's going to be able to catch them all out. So the pace of the round slows down to a crawl now. As Eternal Fire just try and put the feelers out for where Movistar Riders are hanging back at. One player about to emerge. Sun Pious collects Zantares, the player who's been having a duel with for the majority of the round so far. Actually gets one more onto Woxic, but Calix, quick on the trade, picks up the scout as well, just to try and offer a little bit more resistance. Havik needs to be careful here. He's not going to be too overexposed, though, inside of lockers, and will get away up towards heaven. Now, Issa is going to try and rotate down towards B, see if anyone's at home. Calix, I'm sure, will soon follow, as they don't have much time to work with if they want to get this bomb plant off. In fact, they're running out. It's going to be just 12 seconds, and already with that first frag into Issa, I feel like they are not long for this world. Only one casualty, and it's Sun Pious. What a round for Movistar Riders.
And they recover the M4 as well from his corpse, so
beautiful.
That's not too troublesome. I mean, they do lose a FAMAS, but not to worry too much, because, I mean, Alex getting a couple of kills there with the MP9, that's an extra 600 per kill. Well, sorry, an extra 300 per kill, I guess, 600 in total. Over the rifles kill reward, but I mean, 4 players staying alive, that gives you a little bit of cash to fall back on for the most part, and it's just going to be very quick in towards this A site from the Eternal Fire side. Deft could get a lot of kills from the top of the hood. Instead, he's going to find absolutely nothing until he finally gets deals with Issa, and it's an absolute slaughter.
It is a slaughter, and you know what's worse? You know what's so much worse, apart from the BM at the end, of course, is that 4 of those 5 kills go to MP9s. The cash that they have just made in that round doesn't even bear thinking about, Dan. Thankfully, it was reasonably evenly distributed across a number of players, which only means it's likely to get expended on utility rather than AWPs or anything, but a cheeky little round here from Movistar Riders. You can see the intent in just the weaponry alone. 3 MP9s. They're going for a bonus round. They're going to look to see if they can succeed with little weapons to try and continue to supplement big investments later down the line. So Eternal Fire have an opportunity here to try something and try and get back into the game. Movistar Riders with 2 M4s and 3 SMGs here. Going to try and be a little bit cheeky and stop them. They do have 3 kits, which is always going to be nice. Progress into the A site now needs to be stopped, and here it comes, the MP9's at the back, it's got 1, it's got 2, the help of Mopos for the 3rd one onto the USPS, it's actually doing the damage, it's found nearly a whole frag to finish the round, and in the end Woxic will do it, so the bonus round's successful, and better yet, it's the 2 rifles that survive, the MP9s are scattered to the wind.
Ooh, that's a tough one now for Eternal Fire. I don't know what your plan of action is now. I mean, you've got a little bit of a minimal buy you could get through here. A few Deagles, the Mac 10 for Zantares. But it's going to be 13 for Movistar more than likely. Now they've brought out the AWP as well for some Pious. That's going to be able to stake a claim towards the yard. See whether Eternal Fire are going to be able to remove that and maybe get the land back, but Xantares is unsuccessful in that endeavour. Sumpires gets an opening. There's a big old gap in that smoke. Luckily, nobody was watching it. And that's allowed Issa to get down towards the secret stairs. And just to note, Issa, 19 and 11. He's the one that's really doing the dirty work, the big damage for the Eternal Fire right now. Not quite enough as of yet. He needs somebody else to step up with him. And Davig over towards Ramp is managing things well. Brink gets a bit of support from Sumpires, who collects another 2 on that big sniper rifle. All left up to Issa now. I think he was just spotted by Alex. Definitely spotted now as he gets tagged up. Alex is trying to find the kill, but he's back away. Allow Mopos to try a bit of the contact, bit of the fire, and there you go. 13 on the board. Clean round again. As the money is just going to start stacking for Movistar.
Okay, maybe it's a HUD error, but Calix isn't alive. There's only 4 players in that T spawn.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
they're
guessing
looking at spawn.
Guessing he's disconnected. I'm going to imagine he's disconnected. There's been some kind of issue. Hopefully he's able to get back in a reasonable amount of time, but Eternal Fire, as a result, having to call a tactical timeout here, which I really feel like should be a technical one. Now there's 2 Alexes in the game. This is interesting. HUD's having a moment, but there are definitely 5 players now back on the Eternal Fire side. Sunpius is duplicated, which is really good for Movistar Riders, of course, because if you can clone Sunpius, you've got a good team already. I'm guessing the HUD will sort itself out as this round. It's just had a little moment, ladies and gents, so don't give it too much bullying. It's okay. Doing its best, all right? It's all right though. Eternal Fire are going to be at 7 to 13. This is a
Imagine a world
round
with 2 Sunpiuses on your team.
Well, now it's gone, I'm afraid. That alternate reality that we just slipped into there for a moment has been quickly stripped back away.
I'm unplugged from the simulation.
Oh, I've woken up. Oh my god. I'm so woke.
Oh, I had this weird nightmare, dystopian reality of 2 Sunpiuses on Movistar Riders. It was hell. They won 7 majors in a row.
Oh my goodness me! Spanish dominance. Unprecedented. We've never had an era like that in Counter-Strike. It's not really been a dominant nation in CS, even in Source. Spain was pretty good at Source, if I'm not mistaken. Either way, Dan. 13 to 7. Eternal Fire need this round. Must win.
Look at the space they've garnered as well. Look where IMORR is as well. He has got so much space up towards heaven. He has Xantares for support. Death seems wary of this, though. You can see him on the X-ray just looking up to heaven. He knows there's a possibility that something could be coming, and with 45 seconds on the clock, when you look at the map, you think 8 split all over this one. Davik trying to get a little bit of space over towards Radio, trying to find out what's going on, but now this A site is going to be under threat with that opening kill onto Mopos. Death needs to stand tall, and he does find actually 2 from the back of sight, eventually gets caught out, but now his teammates are starting to find some frags as well, and they've got the man advantage, George. It's all up towards Woxic and Issa in towards the site. Make it only Woxic because he's lost his teammate. Issa gets clapped. And now 15 seconds on the clock. He's going to try and get this bomb planted. Nobody's going to peek initially, but a nade's landing on him and it's just utility galore. Sumpires with the AWP will be the one to do the final dirty job. They're clearing Woxic from the site, but it's 14 now for the Movistar Riders. Another pretty decent round. 3 players alive this time as well. They just keep racking them up. Looking like we're going to be heading to Vertigo soon.
Just incredible. Absolutely incredible from Movistar Riders on this CT side. They were happy to give up Heaven there, which seems like a really strange thing to say because on Nuke, the Heaven position for the T's is almost like a guaranteed round win. It's so instrumental to defending in a post plant, but they couldn't even break through it. Deaths had a read on it. They had Sunpius inside of the A site, standing guard towards main entrance and rotating back in towards Hut, and they had an insurance policy. Davik was on a big long flank. He managed to catch out the lobby play before it even came in, which would have absolutely undone the round from that point onwards because it meant that Sunpius was actually able to keep his life inside of the hut. Frag could not have come at a better time, and Movistar Riders now find themselves at 14, and that could not have come at a better time either. Because for Eternal Fire, they need bomb plants to keep sustaining their expensive tastes of buying. Already, they have expended a fair amount of their utility. Not nearly as much as Movistar Riders have, of course, but that's the nature of the CT side. Now the T's are getting ready to line up a number of smokes, looking to be more towards an outside hit with them moving back in towards their spawn. That's usually the lineup, and you can see the 2 yellow lines sailing over just in front of Alex to give a smoke wall and safe passage down in towards Secret, where Sun Pius harbours a dangerous secret. It's the AWP in his hands. It's going to be quite dangerous and risky, but it seems it's all a carefully constructed ruse, Dan. Eternal Fire are moving away.
Ooh, they are chilling in towards the lobby, having a bit of a pants party. The party where you wear pants.
That's the best kind of party.
And now look to try and just execute through Squeaky Door in towards his A side, but look at the amount of bodies that are prepared to defend. With 20 seconds on the clock, Movistar, they're forcing Eternal Fire's hand here, and they line up for deaths. He gets a quick double. Moppo's still on the top of the hood as well, gonna drop down. Oh, it doesn't work out for him. It's Sun Pius from the fence. He's won this round single-handedly with the no-scope on the ladder. He's done his best simple impression, and he eventually gets caught by Zantares, but the round is done, and Zantares just about stays alive after time. So he keeps the AWP, drops it over to Woxic, and oh my heart, George. What a way for some Pius just to stake claim and do the Eternal Fire side oh so dirty.
I'm shaking. That was a double no-scope. On top of the ladder. Gets 1 frag, then gets the second. The exact thing that Deaths was unable to do from on top of the hut, he's able to do from the ladder without a scope, with the moving inaccuracy of being on a ladder. I don't believe it. I really don't. Movistar Riders. A stroke of luck, baby. Pure brilliance. Potentially. But one thing's for sure, it does not matter, because it is 7-15. It is map point for Movistar Riders right here and right now. They have a chance to pull themselves through this game down. They have a chance to pull themselves to a 1-0 lead, which is going to be massive for them in the grand scheme of things, right? You've got to imagine it will be.
Oh, for sure. Some Pius in towards Secret. We'll see those smokes come flying over. We'll relay that to his team. He has a bit of assistance towards the yard from Alex, who, I mean, isn't going to be peeking out. He's just holding from that back guy's position, the position I do actually really love on this map.
It is your favourite spot.
Main. It is my favourite spot. On Nuke, that is. Some Pius. Looks like first contact here, and he nails it. It's not the time of day to even have a chance in that shot, as now Alex is going to be the one stepping up to the mark. They are going to clear him, but not well enough. IMORR goes down, and this could be it. 5-3. Alex is trying to buy time, but he can't do it. Woxic and Zares in tandem find a couple in return. Now back into the 3-on-3, but again, time, George, is starting to run low. 25 seconds for Eternal Fire to make their move. And Defs is still inside of the site. Davik still has position towards heaven. What do you do here? 15 seconds, guys. You need to get the chops on a little bit. They try and push through. Davik gets a first and a second. That's the round done. Bomb dropped up towards heaven. Woxic, he's just playing for frags now, and he can't even do that. Movistar, a huge, huge win there.